Hello all and welcome. I'm the MGTOW philosopher, and in this video I would like to discuss an article I came across written by a fellow named David Messiotra. I think I'm pronouncing that right, although probably not. And it's entitled, "The Crisis of Masculinity is One of Scarcity, Not Excess." Yes, are we not men? Is a more salient question than ever. And in this article he contends that men are to blame for the decrease in masculinity, not women. We need to be bigger pussy, white knight, wimp manginas, because that's what makes men really masculine. Anyhow, I'll let him tell you in his own words. So let's just jump right into this article, shall we? So it begins with, "I had my eye on the prettiest girl at the party. We'd met a few months earlier in high school biology. When class had let out one day, I shouted her name, Lindsay, and said, 'Good to meet you. It's my lucky day, I guess.'" Oh, man, you're such a pussy. Such a pussy. Starting off with that, "Oh, I'm so lucky to meet you." Why don't you just say to her, "I'm a pathetic loser, and I value myself so little that I think I'm extremely lucky to be in your presence." So immediately, you're telling her that she's superior, that she's more valuable, that she has more value than you. So automatically, we know this guy's a blue pill, white knight mangina wimp. She turned around as if she was on a runway, and her long, bright, blonde hair flipped, forming a frame around her beautiful face. Pussy. She flashed me a smile. I felt volts of electricity charge my body. That's because you're a pussy. Back at the party, as I broke the law by nursing a Miller Lite. Ooh, you rebel, you. I watched with bewilderment and envy as Lindsay flirted with a dork named Steve. You call him a dork, but I'm guessing he was a jock. He was probably a good-looking guy, well-built, and a bad boy, as opposed to your good boy. All of our conversations before and after class, my attempts at charm and wit, my transparently weak excuses for greeting Lindsay in her locker before first period had gotten me nowhere. Yeah, well, that's typical friend zoning. She's friend zoned you because you're a pussy, you're a wimp, you're not a bad boy. You approached her as if you have no value, and hence she saw you as someone who has no intrinsic value, except as a good servant and emotional tampon, of course. I stepped outside to commit my second crime of the evening. As I took a slow drag off my cigarette, oh, wow, you are a rebel, man, uber rebel. A cigarette and a light beer? Wow, oh, you are a bad boy. I heard a shout that contained subtle hints of Lindsay's melodious voice. Oh, God. You always know you're dealing with a bad writer when they start using words like melodious that said, "Get off of me," making my way around the house to the backyard. I noticed that the screams were becoming increasingly angry and desperate. A deeper voice issued commands. "Come on, stop it." Steve had his hands on Lindsay's hips as he pressed her against the aluminum siding of the split-level house. So let me get this straight. She voluntarily went around to the backyard with him, okay? And she didn't realize what he wanted, and she put herself into this position. And, of course, she put herself into this bad position. And, of course, since she put herself in this position of trouble, of course, it's your job to save her. Yes, because everyone knows when a woman fucks up and makes a bad decision, it's a man's duty to save her from herself. Of course! Without thinking, I threw my smoldering Winston into the grass, dropped my beer, and escalated my illegal activity. I pushed Steve away from Lindsay and then punched him in the face. The blow knocked him back, but he managed to regain his bearings before falling to the ground. He spat some obscenities at me before walking to his car, which was in severe need of a muffler, and drove away. Ooh, you're such a man. Yeah, you're not a beta wimp now, are you? Yeah. Yeah, you are, you pussy. A few minutes later, Lindsay gave me a kiss with more power than my right hook. Oh, so I guess you weren't friend zoned after all. You were just too much of a pussy to make a move, and you've got no game. I see. Between the noble exhibition of strength and the romantic affection from an attractive woman, you mean girl, you're teenagers. And she ain't a woman, by the way. Of course, most women ain't women either. They're all about the mental level of a 7-year-old. Anyway, the party had become a moment of idealized manhood. Did you get to pang her? Did you get to pang her at least, or did you just get a kiss, okay? Because she felt obligated to give you one. Did you get anything else other than a kiss? I felt as if I was Elvis Presley in the films I'd enjoyed watching on Turner Classic Movies. Yeah, because we all know that real life is just like movies, right? Every night before I went to bed, it's abhorrent to view a woman's pain and potential suffering as an opportunity for male edification. Nah, not really. I view it that way every day. But there are moments when an evil act of victimization requires masculine intervention. Really? When? Elvis's characters lived according to that ethic. Elvis? First of all, the whole image of Elvis was just a creation, okay, to sell tickets to his concerts and get you to buy his freaking records and shit, okay? Guy died a fat pig whose favorite food was a banana, what did he eat? Banana and chocolate sandwiches and fucking fried chicken. He was a blob when he died of a drug overdose. Yeah, that's a real masculine ideal to hold yourself up to, pal. Elvis's characters lived according to that ethic. It's not real. And it's certainly not real nowadays, this masculine need to intervene and save women. Yeah, we have had that, unfortunately. Unfortunately, but we don't anymore. Good. Elvis lived according to that ethic, as did the literary hero whose triumphs I'd read about doing study hall, Raymond Chandler's Philip Marlowe. This stupid kid, this stupid guy. He's recounting a story from his childhood, obviously, in this story. Yes, you lament the disappearance of this idealized man that never existed in the first place. What did exist was men sacrificing themselves for women. You lament that disappearing, huh, pussy boy? Yeah, you need to find another purpose in your life than trying to sacrifice yourself for women. Today, in the contemporary context of sexual misconduct, masculine intervention is the subject of fear, ridicule, and diagnostic examination. The deluge of harassment and assault accusations against major political media and entertainment figures following the exposure of Hollywood's producer Harvey Weinstein as a sexual criminal. Wrong. Harvey Weinstein hasn't been proven to be any type of criminal. He hasn't been charged with anything. As far as I know, the guy just used high-priced movie roles to entice young, not-so-experienced actresses to bang him. That's, morally maybe reprehensible. I don't know. I mean, is it illegal? No, and I'm not so sure it's even morally reprehensible. I mean, Jesus Christ, women are the biggest gold diggers in the world. They use their sexuality to marry men, to get their money all the time, to get them to provide for them. How is this so different? They wanted a role in a movie. He said, okay, you do this, you get the role. I don't see the problem. There's informed consent. They consented. They made the choice. If they didn't want to sleep with him, they could have just walked away. Oh, but no, the job paid $20 million. Oh, I couldn't just walk away. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. You wouldn't get the $20 million, but you had a choice, and you made the choice. You're just a high-priced prostitute. Just admit it, and stop trying to blame Harvey Weinstein for holding a carrot in front of your nose that you say is too good to pass up. You could have passed it up. You chose not to, and now you're claiming to be a victim. Fuck off. Goes on to say, has understandably provoked many writers, especially of feminist ideology, to identify the lament of the crisis of masculinity. No. What are you talking about, feminist writer? Feminists are the ones that killed masculinity, okay? They've done everything they can to destroy masculinity in men. They're not lamenting anything. Slate recently ran an analysis of sexual harassment with the headline, "Men aren't monsters, but masculinity can be." Utter nonsense, of course. Yes, men just have to be less masculine, don't you know? And a writer for the New York Times, it loses like $60+ million a year. All that is a liberal propaganda rag that exists to spread disinformation and the leftist fucking ideology and agenda. New York Times explored the unexamined brutality of the male libido. Yeah, you gotta love this war on men, huh? Yeah, the male libido is evil. It's resulted in mankind surviving and thriving, but somehow it's evil. The female libido, oh, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. The problem's all men, even though men and women are equal. Okay. Charles Blow, for the same paper, Charles Blow. I gotta love that name. Oy vey. Declared we have to re-examine our toxic privilege encroaching masculinity. Pussy. Weak-minded simpleton who has been indoctrinated. What an idiot. Oh, yeah, we white men, he's probably white, probably suffering from white guilt, of course. Yeah, our encroaching masculinity. Really? I mean, geez, I don't hear a lot of these problems happening in places other than areas that are all ruled by liberals. I mean, Hollywood, the media, those are all ruled by liberals. How exactly? Oh, but it's men. Oh, there's men everywhere. Okay, so even male liberals. The problem's not liberalism. Oh, no, it's men. Really? I would beg to differ. I think the problem is liberalism. Anyway, this horribly written article goes on to say, while it doesn't hurt to negotiate and navigate the meaning of masculinity, contemptuous generalizations about men are unhealthy and dangerous because they flirt with prejudice. Nah! Really? Prejudice in today's society in the West against men? Can't be. Even Jessica Valenti, one of the most recognized and committed advocates of feminism, objected to the New York Times slappy headline of the male libido, writing, men's sexuality is not inherently predatory, and claiming it is normalizes assault. Chameleon. Sweeping indictments of masculinity also deflect attention from one of the most elementary truths to emerge out of the reckoning of sexual predators. The crisis of masculinity is not one of excess, but scarcity. Right. I mean, the left has essentially been doing all they can to destroy masculinity, okay? But they continue to focus on these types of things whenever they pop up, which is, of course, because they want to continue to push their agenda that's anti-man. Yeah, that is the distraction, and it wants to distract you away from the fact that feminists, that women, they really have nothing else to complain about. They already have achieved not only equality, but superiority. Oh, but we can't have people seeing and realizing that. Otherwise, we would lose our superior position in a society. Rich literary, historical, and cultural traditions depict masculine heroism as protection of the vulnerable and powerless. Yeah, goddamn right. Stories of military valor, the selfless acts of bravery from firefighters and rescue workers, even the New Testament allegory of Jesus Christ rescuing a prostitute from the mob preparing to stone her, demonstrate that masculinity at its apex is the employment of power, force, and authority for assistance and guardianship over those who, at least temporarily, are unable to save themselves. I'll say it again. Yeah, goddamn right. What's wrong with that? Of course, all this seems like a setup for a but I'll continue anyway. The most obvious of masculine virtues from the presentation of masculine heroism, responsibility, gallantry, fuck that gallantry shit, integrity, Ernest Hemingway's heroes illustrate an impervious stoicism that is easy to parody when coming from writers without his genius. Like you, but when done right, it shows the crucial connection between pride and manhood. Goes on to say, none of these qualities, only their polar opposites, are identifiable in the predation of Weinstein. Oh, please. Oh, please. Please. The issue here, and the real problem with this Weinstein stuff that women are trying to focus a microscope on to make you think it's some kind of huge world problem when really it's just limited to bastions of leftism and liberalism, which is just another word for feminism. All this is about, I mean, good God, it just changed the focus. And by the way, all this is about the problems that we're talking about here. These are problems caused by women, okay? You know, these women didn't have, they're not victims. They're not victims, okay? I mean, I have no doubt that there are women out there that were victims of sexual assault and sexual harassment, but they're relatively few. I mean, men today know how hostile an environment today's world is for men. They know how much sympathy there is for women, and they know that women have the upper hand in pretty much everything. So only the biggest moron idiot would harass a woman in his workplace, and only the biggest fool boss would do that. So it's not really happening very often. Certainly nothing like it was in the past, but they want you to believe it is, of course. Meanwhile, these women who say it's happening, the majority of them are full of shit. They got offered a job. Sex was part of the offer. They decided, okay, I'll have the sex with them. They got all the money, and then 10, 15, 20 years later, now they're complaining that they were victims. Give me a fucking break. That's pathetic. Louis C.K. and their fellow offenders, they're not offenders. They just wanted sex. And they offered money and power in exchange for sex to what are essentially prostitutes, which is most women anyway. Their behavior is so thoroughly reprehensible. Yeah, you pussy. You're a pussy. This is from a white knight who essentially risked getting beat up or worse for some broad who hadn't given him the time of day before, and he had to go to the extent of saving her from possible rape to get her to see some kind of value in him. And we still don't know if he did or did not get laid. Seems like the only thing he got out of her was a kiss. Hoo, you man, you. Yeah, that's pathetic, pal. You. One of the most baffling oddities to emerge out of these sexual harassment stories is how many men of power enjoy acts of indecent exposure. Oh, come on. Come on! There's a juvenile look-at-me aspect of surprising woman with a masturbatory act that, in addition to being odious and repugnant, makes it entirely unmanly. What does that mean, unmanly? What does that mean? By the way, from what I understand, he asked the woman's permission if he could do that in front of her, and she said yes. Now, what does that say about her? Doesn't that mean she's kind of a sicko, too? Oh, but she's a victim somehow. Yeah, okay. The nearest comparison is not to some hot testosterone Lothario, which you definitely are not, soy boy, but to an adolescent desperately craving attention through the humiliation of his subjects. Yeah, but he's getting laid, isn't he? And you ain't. And at least Harvey Weinstein understood women a hell of a lot better than you do, pal. Even the womanizer possesses masculinity that runs in stock. Oh, yeah, the womanizer's horrible, too. This guy's nothing more than a blue-pilled simpleton who puts women on a pedestal. Yeah, they're so superior to you, you pussy. You don't even see how they victimized men for the past 60 years, you idiot. And now you're being their hero and standing up for them. How's that going for you, by the way, huh? Huh? Not too good, I bet. Even the womanizer possesses... We can see that. You're just a beta cuckboy. Even the womanizer possesses masculinity that runs in stark contrast with the pitiable, of the contemporary harassers. Yeah, masculine sexual charisma, whether visible in the charm and seduction techniques of a fictional character like James Bond. Yeah, fictional characters. He brings up a lot of fictional characters, doesn't he? He brings up this noble, idealized version of masculinity that isn't really real, okay? James Bond, or the real-life adulterer like Mick Jagger, is desirable because it attracts women and sparks sexual desire, leading to consensual, mutually pleasurable affairs. You mean like the ones that Weinstein had? These women all said yes because it was offering them money. They're whores. Are we supposed to feel sorry for them? Fuck off. No normal teenage boy fantasizes about abusing his power to assault women who have no interest in him. I don't get your point. Uh-huh. Weinstein's horrible. These guys are horrible. But women are wonderful. Okay, yeah. And it goes on to say that one of Weinstein's accusers claimed that she rejected his unwanted advances. The film mogul cried, saying, "You rejected me because I'm fat." Well, okay. What's the point here? This article is so random. First, this guy's talking about his childhood. Then he's talking about make-believe men and Elvis. And now Weinstein said he was rejected because he's fat. There's really no cohesion to this article. It's very poor writing. The stories of misconduct making headlines on a daily basis are not the triumphs of masculinity's winners, but the woes of its losers. Really? Isn't Weinstein like worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars? I mean, the guy's really rich. And you saw his wife before she divorced him. Jesus, of course, what was he doing married in the first place? The moron. But anyway, Jesus Christ, the guy is richer than most people will ever be. But he's a loser? Really? He's been with some of the hottest chicks on the planet. I don't know. He pumped and dumped a lot of broads. The only mistake he made was getting married. And, of course, getting caught. By the way, get caught doing, yeah, that implies he actually did something wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. The guy did nothing wrong. It's clear that the bipartisan parade of groping misogynists, oh boy, you know you're dealing with a male feminist when he uses the word misogynist about other men. Yo, they're all evil misogynists. Harvey Weinstein was a woman-hating misogynist. Well, can you blame him? Look at these cunts. They're all coming to him, essentially begging for jobs. And they're nobodies at this point, and he gives them these jobs that make them into instant millionaires, and 10 years later, they're worth $100 million, and now they're bitching and moaning that they had to sleep with a fat guy. If he looked like Brad Pitt, they'd had no problem. It's just that they had to do the, God, the horrible act. The, yeah, really, it's just so horrible. I have to sleep with an ugly fat guy. Women are so entitled these days. Yeah, I actually have to do something distasteful to get some money. Millions of dollars. Oh, God, there's no amount of money that could pay for me having to sleep with Harvey Weinstein. Oh, pity me. Bipartisan parade of groping misogynists lack the most fundamental respect for women. Fundamental respect? What are you talking about? Respect is earned. It's not given. What do you think makes women deserving of respect, pal? They have a vagina, so I'm automatically supposed to respect her? What are you fucking talking about? You pussy? You pussy, you! I hate pussies like you. I hate pussies like you, these white night manginas that say we automatically have to respect women. Go fuck yourself. I don't respect women. I don't respect anybody. By the way, I don't respect men either, unless they've earned it. People who haven't done something to earn my respect, they don't fucking get it. People I would respect, Donald Trump I would fucking respect, okay? That man took what was a relatively in relative terms, not a great amount of money, and he spun it into billions and billions and billions of dollars. Now he's president of the United fucking States. Okay? That's worthy of some respect, all right? Some random woman, I'm just supposed to respect her because she has a fucking vagina? What? Yes, we should have a fundamental respect for women, and in their moral failure to view women as human beings. He just said to some broads, hey, you bang me, I'll give you a job and a major motion picture. He's well within his rights to do that. Jesus Christ. For women, sex is currency anyway. I don't get this. This is hypocrisy. And it's coming from the feminist left to begin with. It's all the men on the feminist left who are the ones doing this shit in the first place. They treat them as toys for their own sexual amusement. They also lack the pride that is essential to the maintenance of masculine confidence and bravado. Oh, I see. It's men's fault that masculinity is dying out. That the problem of masculinity is it's one of scarcity, not of abundance. No, pal, it is the fault of feminism and creating single mother households and demonizing male traits and disenfranchising men and teaching boys that being a boy is evil and the media shaming men through TV and movies and commercials, okay, and Hollywood doing the same, that has turned men into wimps like you. Yeah, but blame other men for what women have essentially done. Yeah, because you're a pussy. Goes on to say, in the process of harming women, these men have embarrassed themselves. One of the most important questions, as always, is why? Why? Why not? What are you talking about, why? Why does any guy want to sleep with a hot-looking chick? And why does any guy who has what the woman wants, and she has what he wants, not use it to get what he wants? I mean, she uses her sex to get what she wants. By the way, all of these women have no problem whatsoever using their sexuality to marry good-looking, wealthy guys. They use it all the time to get what they want in society. And yet, when there's a man who is in a position that has something they want, and then he uses his trump card. He uses what he's got to get what he wants from them. He uses the offer of a movie role to get sex from them. He flips the tables, essentially, on women. Oh, that's horrible. That's evil. Oh, we have to castigate this man. Oh, we have to find him guilty of some crime. But all he's doing is exactly what women have been doing forever. Oh, and this fucking idiot doesn't see that. Yeah, but it's men's fault that men are less masculine. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, pal. Goes on to say, one of the important questions is why? Why, even if certain men refuse to acknowledge the dignity and autonomy of women? Dignity? Dignity? These bitches and hoes have no dignity these days. Western women are the absolute worst human beings on the planet. What are you talking about dignity? They sell their pussies for money all the time. Ooh, buy dinner for me. Ooh, buy drinks for me. Ooh, buy me a dress. Buy me shoes. Ooh, I want to marry you. And of course, once they marry you, they become fat pigs, and it's the old bait and switch. So I mean, what are you talking about? What dignity are you talking about, pal? Does pride not prevent them from behaving as freaks and fools? I don't know. Does it prevent you? Obviously not. Resolving the sickly lack of masculinity. Yeah, it's men's fault. Yeah, it's not women's fault. Yeah. What an idiot this guy is, along with cultivating a culture that has no tolerance for the degradation of women. So now he's implying that masculinity somehow results in the degradation of women. Didn't you just say that it's a horrible thing that society has less masculinity in it, and that's men's fault? But now he's implying that masculinity degrades women. Of course, he's got the lazy solipsistic thinking of a feminist. He doesn't know when he's contradicting himself. Or the long-term solutions for sexual harassment. In the short term, it appears that many men could use a good punch to the face. Oh, now he's referencing the start of this story that is essentially a jumble of nonsense. All he's tried to spin together in some way be relevantly connected from paragraph to paragraph, which it isn't. But of course, no big surprise. It's written by a male feminist. Yes, all men need a punch to the face, as women have continually escalated their cost, and they've priced themselves right out of the market. Yeah. And then they're surprised when they go into workplaces that are predominantly dominated by men, and then they start to take over, and they're surprised that there's actually some kind of sexual interest being expressed by men in women. Oh my God, that's the end of the freaking world. Men that they worked with expressed sexual interest in them. Oh no, they can't handle it, they can't take it. We need to run and complain. Oh, but I thought women were strong and independent. Ah, yeah, they're strong and independent as long as the guys that are hitting on them look like, Brad Pitt. If they look like Harvey Weinstein, not so much. And of course, if I have to suffer the indignity of being forced, I say, to accept a job that pays $20 million in exchange for giving him sexual favors, well, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable, even though it was consensual. Yeah, women are such victims, right? So let me know what you think of this pussy boy, David Massiotra, however the fuck you pronounce his name, author of Mellencamp, American Troubadour, University of Kentucky. Oh, God. Barack Obama, Invisible Man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking liberal scumbag. Yeah, let me know what you think of this pussy boy and this article of what is clearly a male feminist attacking other men and blaming men and our propensity to harass women for the degradation of masculinity in society, and that it's not women's fault, oh no, and their 60-year assault on toxic masculinity, but it's our fault that we're less masculine because we're not going out of our way to be pussies and protect women more the way he does. Please like and subscribe to my video, this video. Please like, subscribe to my channel, I should say. And donate to my Patreon if you're so inclined. You'll find a link both in the description and the last 20 seconds of this video. And I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.